So, I bought both of the newest 4+ Lego Star Wars sets. Starting with the Tanu Jedi Temple set here. This one, normally $40, I got this for $15. That's the price to buy it. Basically, the main attraction of the set is the Jedi Temple here, and then there's also some other side pieces. It comes with 3 actual minifigures and then like 1/2 of an astromech figure, just as the head of an astromech, which kind of counts as a figure. I will say that the actual look of this build is way better than I was expecting it to be, just based off of like looking at the box and it being like a 4+ set. I think it has some really cool pieces with it, such as the printed wall pieces and like the Jedi Temple symbol. I think is really cool. The figure is also really neat. If you just have an Anakin figure, just throw him in the mix there and you can have him slaughtering some younglings. Overall, for being a 4+ set, I think it actually doesn't look too bad. Sure, it doesn't look amazing, but in terms of a 4+ set, it's way better than the like ATST one that they released, which is also like $40, and it's this tiny little build. I think this just looks a lot better, and the minifigures are actually pretty good. It even comes with like Yoda here, which, I mean, it's like a baby looking Yoda, but he still looks, you know, it's still like a cool looking figure overall. And then moving over to the other set that I bought, we have the Crimson Firehawk, which this set is normally $50.
What? How can you do this? This is outrageous. It's unfair.
I got it for $25. Paying more than $25 is too much. Okay, $25 is what it should have been at like release. You shouldn't have to wait for a sale. Like $50, $40 and $50 for these sets are absolutely ridiculous. The $50 one has 136 pieces and the $40 one has 124 pieces, which, you know, that's normal for like 4+ sets that have very low piece counts. And I mean, the reason for that is because of this Crimson Firehawk mainly, which is comprised of 2 really big pieces mainly, along with like some other really quite big pieces. Like there's this piece right here and this piece right here that are like separated, and again it's 4 of those like bigger pieces, plus like the big windshield piece and like some other big pieces. Just a lot of big pieces in the set. I think it's actually really cool like that they actually have like printing for these pieces. I will say the printing of these like for the pieces in these sets are like incredible, and I feel like all the other sets should also just have all printed pieces, which would be awesome. Stickers are a pain in the butt sometimes, and just having printed pieces is way nicer overall. What's also interesting is both of these sets come with a speeder bike, which is interesting, and then basically the other, like the third part of it is like some other bonus scene thing to go with it. So for the Jedi Temple, you have like a little battleground between one of the guys and the droid, and then for the other set, it's like a little like market stand thing. Overall, these sets are extremely overpriced. They should at least be half price. Like even with having massive pieces in them, what you're getting overall is ridiculous for 4+ sets. Like I think everybody agrees with the fact that 4+ sets are extremely overpriced. Like Lego itself is already an expensive thing, and then throwing the 4+ picture on there makes it even more expensive. Like the little 4+ logo just boosts the price up even more. What I would say like a fair price for this set, like these sets would be, is for the Tanu Jedi Temple should be like $30. That's what I think would be like a fair price, knowing like Lego's pricing and stuff. And yes, it has the big pieces, and you know, oh, but you know, that's why it costs more. It's like, yeah, I get that, but it shouldn't be more than $30 at retail price. I think the price that I got it for, $15, is extremely good of a deal, and it's pretty decent. Like with the minifigures and stuff, like there's some really cool hair pieces as well. Just the minifigures are pretty neat, I would say, and I think that they really are the star of the show, especially for the Crimson Firehawk. Nubs figure is actually just really cool and really fun to look at. And speaking of the Crimson Firehawk, $50 for the set is ridiculous. It should probably, like, if I would say, like, if it was like an actual set and they use like regular pieces instead, I'd say it should have been like a $35, $40 max for a Lego set, because this is like around the size of a starfighter, I would say, like one of the Jedi starfighters, and it does come with a few extras, and it comes with like 2.5 minifigures because it has a little droid that it comes with, like a mini droid. So I mean, it's a cool overall, and the Nubs figure that comes with it is great, but $50 is ridiculously priced. It should have been $10 to $15 cheaper for sure, like just base retail price. Getting it for 25, that's a good price to buy it at, I'd say, because it's not like you're still getting ripped off with 25 bucks, because it actually looks pretty cool for being a 4+ set. This is probably the best looking 4+ set I've ever seen with the Crimson Firehawk, because it's just a cool looking build. And you know, overall I'd say $35-ish, maybe 40, maybe. That's pushing it though, because I mean, taking the Jedi, like Obi-Wan's Jedi Starfighter, I'd say it's probably like equivalent to around that, but it has basically one minifigure less, and instead of having that like third cool minifigure, it has like a quarter sized like droid figure basically. So it's like, I kind of gotta think about that. Overall though, I will say that these sets are actually pretty cool. For being 4+ sets, they're actually really way better than I was expecting them to be, just by looking at the box and knowing about other 4+ sets. And while the instructions are just extremely simple because it's meant for 4+, you know, they are honestly pretty cool sets, I will say. Personally, I recommend just not buying them at all unless you can get at least 50% off like I did for these. You know, for the Crimson Firehawk, 50% off I got on that. And then for the Jedi Temple one, I got over 50%. Normal price for that's 40, I got it for 15, so a steal there. Both of those, if you can get them for about 50% off each, that is the time to get them, I will say, because the sets themselves are actually pretty cool. Even if you don't keep the builds, I think the minifigures are actually really good overall. Like, I'm genuinely surprised by the minifigures in the set. And you know, if you're a fan of like Star Wars, and especially like younglings, which, you know, you can recreate the Anakin scene like I was saying, then these sets are probably like a good pick for you. I was genuinely surprised by how much more I like the sets compared to like what I was expecting them to. My expectations were way down, so actually that they kind of look neat, and you know, if you had more pieces they expand upon it on, I think that these sets could be really cool. Or just like taking some of the pieces, like the Jedi Temple logo piece, and like putting that into like a Jedi Temple mock. Like, I was talking to my dad and showing him these, and he was like, oh no, I really would want to make like a mock of like a grassy, like overgrown Jedi Temple. I'm like, that would be really cool, because like the one that they have here, yeah, it's cool, but it's 4+. The big pieces kind of like take you out of it a little bit, and you know, it's nothing too crazy. It's just it's all right. Better than I was expecting for, you know, 4+. But overall, I'd say steer clear of these unless you can get a very nice sale on them, because I feel like the figures especially, they're gonna be like sleeper figures, I'll say, and like after the set's retired, I feel like probably a lot of people would have not gotten them, and they might want them in the future, because I was looking at the prices, like the Nubs figure especially, that one's going for a little bit, and you know, I feel like just the amount of like detail on these figures and the new pieces that I've seen and just how they look overall, I think it's actually pretty cool, and I think that they may go up in value after the sets retire. So I'm glad I bought these sets. I wouldn't pay full price at all, like I said, but half price is great. Minifigures surprisingly good, the sets themselves surprisingly good, and yeah, be sure to let me know what you think of these sets down below in the comments, and you know, the video overall. And with all that being said, I will see you in the next video.